Hey everybody, this is Kristen, Elite Nutrition Performance owner, certified personal trainer, and registered dietitian. And I'm here today to check in with you guys on my progress of preparing for my next competition. So I started my competition prep about, actually this will be week 3 that I'm going on. And so I created a video blog last week, and this is my second one. So if you haven't watched my first one, go back and watch that on YouTube. My goal with this was just to kind of shed some light on what actually happens with competition prep and what actually people go through. What is a better way to do things rather than the typical bro science, eating just not very tasty food all the time. Tilapia and asparagus is probably the best example that I can give for all your meals in a day. I did that for a little while, my last prep, and it was absolutely awful, and I never ever want to do that ever again. I would rather not compete, quite honestly. So anyways, we just wanted to check in with everybody about, what's been happening, and I also wanted to talk about supplements today because I get a lot of questions as far as what supplements I'm taking and what supplements people should be taking. So I wanted to talk about that as well. So this week is actually, so today's Tuesday, and so I had a workout yesterday, which was my biceps and abs, and then today was a glute workout. And quite honestly, today's workout was really, really hard. I was tired. I didn't really get as much sleep, which is, I sleep a lot, like 8, 9, 10 hours a night, and I only got 7 hours of sleep on Sunday night to Monday, so I was pretty tired when I went into the gym yesterday, and that kind of carried over to today, despite getting almost 10 hours of sleep last night. But I need my sleep. When you're growing muscles, you need a lot of sleep. So if you think that you can get by on 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, you are absolutely wrong. You will not lose weight as quickly, and you certainly will not gain muscle as quickly or as well. So make sure that you're getting lots of sleep. If you know that you're one of those people that requires more sleep, get it. Do what you need to do. I'm the loser that goes to bed at 8:45 last night, 9 o'clock, and that makes me very happy. So just whatever you need to do it and get there. So I've actually been seeing a fair amount of progress in just these 2 short weeks. I took a picture the day that I started of myself. I did a progress picture from the front, the side, and then the back. And I retook those pictures a week and a half in, so on Wednesday, and I will show you those pictures. You probably won't be able to see them very well, but I'll pull it up on my iPad. So if you can see that, this picture here was when I first started, and then this picture was a week and a half in, so you can actually see a lot more definition in my abs, and my love handles have kind of gone down a little bit. So that was just after a week and a half, so I was pretty pleased with that. And unfortunately, with all of this, you're not going to see anytime you're losing weight, especially in a healthy manner, you're not going to see a ton of drastic changes overnight. And a lot of people expect that. They expect to lose, 5 pounds in a week, and that really doesn't happen, nor should it, because at that point you're losing a lot of muscle, and you're not losing just fat at that point. And that's a really unhealthy way to be, and it actually lowers your metabolic rate. And so you wind up kind of crashing at the end, and you can get to the point where you're so stuck because your intake is so low, it's lower than your resting metabolic rate, so your body really can't burn off anything. And so what happens is you wind up just conserving everything that you have, and you can't lose any more fat mass. And you also can lower your metabolic rate by as much as 20%, and it'll stay there for a couple months, even going back to eating normally. And at that point, that's when people gain those 10, 15, 20 pounds after doing a show, or just a normal person that is yo-yo dieting, they will gain all the weight back that they lost and then plus some, and you don't want that to happen. And that's kind of where I felt like I was last year when I did my show. I had cut back my calories too much and increased my workouts too much because I didn't feel like I was losing fast enough. I was right there with everybody else making the same mistakes that I warn people against, and how stupid was I, but I did it. And so I actually couldn't really lose anymore at a certain point. And I was just felt awful all the time, couldn't think straight. It was a terrible experience, and it was really awful to feel like I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I'm literally killing myself, and I still can't lose anything. So, I mean, I lost to a point, but then I stopped when I was so low. So, anyways, I'm not doing that this year. My calories right now are about 1950 calories per day, and I'm eating about 162 grams of protein, about 182 grams of carbs, and about 62 grams of fat. Also getting in at least 25, sometimes 30 grams of fiber in a day, and I also drink about a gallon of water a day. I'm also doing 6 workouts a week, splitting everything up by muscle group. So, if there's smaller muscle groups, then I'll do 2 together. But if it's a larger muscle group, like my legs or my glutes, I'll just focus on that one muscle group. And I'm also doing cardio 3 times a week, but for just 20 minutes. So I actually feel pretty good for the most part. Yesterday I was tired. Today I was a little bit tired, but I feel fine now. But that was just from my lack of sleep, so that was my own fault. So not anything from my lack of eating or overdoing it in the gym or anything like that. So for the most part, I'm doing, really, really well. I'm happy with my progress so far, and, really trying to keep tabs on everything as far as my progress goes, documenting everything. Yesterday I even saw my vein sticking out of my bicep, which I was really happy about. I haven't seen that for a while, so it's the little things that make me happy. So anyways, let's move on to supplements. Generally, when I work out in the morning, I get up around 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym. And when before I go to the gym, I always have a small breakfast that consists of mostly carbs, a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat. So something that I might do is overnight oats. I've also done Van's Ancient Grains gluten-free waffles with some peanut butter on top, and peanut butter and yogurt, actually Greek yogurt, and that's one of my favorites. I always have a cup of coffee, and I drink that in the car on the way to the gym. And so the coffee to me is just really something that kind of gets me going. It gives me the energy to make it through my workout, and I like it. I tried doing pre-workout supplements twice. Once was my husband's NO Explode, and I honestly hated the taste of it. It was disgusting and repulsive, and I didn't even want to finish it, and I felt absolutely no difference. But for him, it works, so more power to him. And then I recently went to my local supplement shop to get some things, and they gave me this sample here of this Fitness Ignite pre-workout. And so I decided on Wednesday of last week that I was going to try this out, and I hated it. I really missed my coffee. I really was actually kind of mad that I didn't have my coffee. I felt absolutely no difference with this at all. I felt like I was more sluggish in the gym, and the taste was fine, but I didn't really feel like it, really amped me up like it's supposed to. So anyways, that was just kind of my own little review on this. If you take it and you like it, great. Pre-workouts, I'm really not sure if it's more of a placebo effect or if there is a real effect, and that probably is a case-by-case basis. But for me, I'll just stick with my coffee. I know that there's science behind it that caffeine does actually work. It does help to give you that little bit of an extra push when you're working out and you're training. So I'm just going to stick with that. Plus the antioxidants, you can't really go wrong with that. So anyways, if you take a pre-workout and you like it, then go for it. But for me, I'm not going to do it. So anyways, moving along, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not really a huge supplement person. Being a registered dietitian, I've done a lot of research over supplements, and unfortunately, a lot of them are just crap. They claim to do this and that, and unfortunately, there's just not any scientific evidence to support it. And of course, all the supplements are going to say that they've done their own independent studies, which means that that supplement company funded that study, and it could be biased, it could be skewed, you have no idea, which generally it is, because if it's that company paying for their product to be researched, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to support it, obviously. So supplements, let me just give you a little quick background on them. They are not regulated by the FDA. A lot of people think that they are, and they're not. They're only regulated by the FDA until enough people complain about adverse effects from the actual supplement, and then the FDA goes in and conducts this investigation to see, okay, does the supplement actually contain what it says it's supposed to contain? Does it contain the certain amounts that they're saying, more or less? Are there any other substances in there that don't belong in there? And unfortunately, a lot of supplements don't carry out what they promise to do. A lot of them contain prescription medications. A lot of them will contain steroids that you don't know about. So a lot of times people will take these supplements and then do a drug test for their sport, and then they'll fail, and not realizing that they had steroids or some other prescription drug in there that it really wasn't supposed to contain. So if you're taking supplements, just beware of it. I'm not saying don't take supplements at all. I take some, but I'm really, really hesitant with what I do take. So what I would suggest doing is going to consumerlab.org or nsfforsport.org. I think it's .org, maybe .com, and searching on there for your particular supplement, or just doing a quick search of different supplements to see what is recommended and what's not. Is it safe? Is it effective? You really want to check into that. If it's not safe, then don't take it. If it's not effective, again, don't take it. You're just wasting your money at that point. If your supplement claims to give you the world and everything, then it's probably not actually going to do that. That's just their marketing scheme so that they can get people to buy it. So really be careful with what you're buying. Ask around, but ask reputable sources. If you're just asking your friend on Facebook that knows nothing about nutrition, chances are you're not going to be getting a very good recommendation. So I'm going to go through what I take. But real quick, I want to tell you a story about a lady that I actually know from the gym that I go to, and I've known her for a couple years now. And one day she came up to me in the gym and was asking me what supplements that I take. And I told her I really don't take anything aside from a multivitamin and a fish oil. And she was just blown away by that, couldn't believe that that's all I took. And she said that she takes supplement A, B, C, D, I don't even remember what they were at this point, but she took a whole slew of supplements every day. And I was explaining each of the supplements to her of what would be beneficial and what's not. And so, long story short, a couple months later, I see her in the gym and she comes up to me and she said, I just want to say thank you because I cut out all these supplements except for my protein powder, and I think maybe her recovery drink was the other one. And she actually saved herself $400 a month by cutting out all these supplements, and said, I see absolutely no change in my body and no change in my performance. So that means she was spending $400 a month on supplements that were doing absolutely nothing for her. So if you're not sure, do your own little trial and see what works for you and what doesn't. And that's actually what I'm doing right now. I've done so much research on branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs, to see if they actually are effective or not. And there's so much mixed research out there as far as if they work and if they don't. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this, and my answer is always the same. You could try it out and see if you notice any difference, but really the evidence is really mixed. So I got really tired of having really, really sore muscles, especially after leg day, just that delayed onset muscle soreness, to the point where I couldn't walk, and it's really, really annoying. So what I did was I wound up getting branched chain amino acids, and I got Cellucor alpha amino, if you can see that. And this is a watermelon flavor. This is the only one that I've tried so far, but it's actually delicious. It tastes like Kool-Aid, and I am happy to drink it. So I have, I bought the smaller container, which is this one right here. This is the 15 servings, and this is 183 grams, 6.5 ounce container. And so I'm almost done with this one. And quite honestly, I feel like it's worked really well for me because I have not gotten nearly as sore as I normally would. I can feel getting a little sore, but that's about it. And normally I can really, like I said, get to the point where I can't walk. I'm walking like an old grandma, and I feel ridiculous. So these have actually really worked for me. Cellucor alpha amino. So I'm not really 100% convinced yet. What I'm going to do is actually take it out for a week and see if I notice a difference in terms of soreness. But I did buy another one so I can continue taking them. And what I do is I mix a scoop with 8 ounces of water, twice a day, and I drink that, and that's actually kind of like a treat for me. So it's like I said, it's drinking like Kool-Aid, and that tastes good to me. So, anyways, the other ones that I take are pretty standard, not anything amazing. I take a women's 1-a-day multivitamin. If you can see that, the light's kind of shining on it. But this is just Target brand women's 1-a-day multivitamin, nothing exciting. And that is really just a good safety net to make sure that I'm getting in all the nutrients that I need every day. I eat a very healthy diet, but because of my activity level and because it is a little restrictive, I may not be getting in all the nutrients that I need. Plus, I have a lot of food intolerances, so there's a lot of foods that I cannot eat. So the multivitamin is a good safety net just to make sure that I'm getting in everything that I need on a daily basis. I also take nature-made fish oil. So these are the burpless ones, if you can see that, because burping up fish oil is not fun. It's pretty disgusting. So these, actually, the recommendation is for you to take two, on the back of the bottle, it'll say take, if you can see that, 2 soft gels. But if you actually look up the research on this, the amount that's in here, 2,000 milligrams, you actually want about 6,000 milligrams in a day. So you really should be taking these, 2 of these 3 times a day and take it with a meal. Now, I don't always get in 3 times a day. It's usually more like 4 pills that I get in, so twice a day. However, I'm still taking that for the most part. Sometimes it's only once a day. But anyways, so if you take fish oil, which I highly recommend because it does actually help you to recover from your workouts. It is a natural anti-inflammatory, a natural blood thinner. It will help you to recover from your workouts. It does actually help with keeping your muscle there and letting go of a little bit of fat as well. It's not going to be a huge weight loss tool, so don't think of it as that, but it does help in supplementing your workouts and what you're already doing. I also take glucosamine and chondroitin. This is just from Earth Fare, and this is actually, I was skeptical about this even though I've done a lot of research on glucosamine and chondroitin for your joints and ligaments and tendons and things like that. My knees give me problems from time to time, and so I have tried taking this, taking the glucosamine and chondroitin to see what difference it's made, and then taking it out to see what difference it made, and it actually really does help my knees to feel better. So I definitely make sure that I get this in. Now, the recommendation for this is to take one tablet with every meal, and I usually wind up taking 1 to 2 in a day, and just that amount really does help. So if you have problems with your joints, I would definitely recommend taking this, and even if you don't, it may be a good precautionary measure. The last thing that I take are digestive enzymes. This is just Now brand. I got this from Whole Foods. And again, one of those things that I was skeptical on. But one of my friends that was competing last year, she told me about it. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I did my research on it, wound up buying some, and it does actually really help. I feel like my body is actually, my digestive system actually is processing through my food a lot better. And so it actually really does help me, I feel like. So digestive enzymes are just a good supplement to your digestive system to help you actually break down your foods, get the nutrients out of them, especially, your fats, your carbohydrates. So if you feel like you at all have any stomach issues, and even if you don't, I would trial it out and see if you notice any difference. So I also from time to time take a probiotic, and I take Alive. Hold on, let me get it for you. Align, that's what I take, if you can see that. So this is a probiotic. The probiotic that's in here, Bifidobacterium infantis. So this is, I've done a lot of research on this brand and this strain of probiotic. And this one actually is the one that has the most research behind it that actually shows that it does help with your digestive system and really moving things along, restoring your healthy bacteria in your gut. And since I have a lot of food intolerances, this actually really, really does help with that. I feel like when I take a probiotic, it really helps with reducing stomach issues, with stomach pain, that sort of a thing. So I definitely try to take this. Sometimes I kind of cycle it where I'll take it for, I think these are 3 month or 4 week supply. So a month supply. So I'll do a month on and maybe a couple months off, and then I'll go back on it, that sort of thing. And I just kind of go by how my body feels. But I really do feel like it helps. And I work a lot with clients that have stomach issues. I myself have IBS. And I work a lot with a lot of clients that have IBS and celiac disease and some other gastrointestinal disorders. And I've recommended this to a lot of my clients, and it's helped them a lot. So, anyways, I'm not telling everybody you have to take these supplements that I necessarily take. I'm just telling you what I take and what I feel like has been helpful. I don't take, like I said, the pre-workout supplements. I tried that, didn't really like it. I don't take any diet pills or anything along those lines. All the other supplements that are out there, muscle gainers, things like that, I don't take them. Everything else that I do is from food. I always find it funny when people say, oh, this is my supplement stack. And yeah, I do have some supplements that I take, but I always want to post a picture and a stack of food and say, this is my supplement stack. It's food. It's real food. You cannot out-train a bad diet, and you can't out-supplement a bad diet. Also, if your diet is crap and you're not training appropriately, you can take all the supplements in the world, but it's not going to do much for you. A supplement is just that. It's a supplement. It's meant to supplement what you're already doing. So make sure that your diet is where it needs to be. You're actually eating enough. If you're not eating enough, you're not going to see the results that you want in terms of gaining muscle or in terms of losing body fat, because like I said earlier, if you're so low, your body won't let go of anything. So make sure that you're doing everything that you can with your diet and your training. Otherwise, like I said, those supplements aren't going to do anything for you. They're just going to be a waste of money at that point. So if you need help with this, find somebody that can help you that is actually reputable. I myself am a registered dietitian and a board certified specialist in sports dietetics, and this is what I do on a daily basis. If you need help, feel free to look me up. If not, find somebody in your area that can help you with this if you don't know what you should be doing with your diet. But I can't stress this enough. Your diet is very, very important. So don't think that you could just take a bunch of supplements and all your problems are going to be solved, because unfortunately it's not. So anyways, that's my check-in for this week. I will check in with you all next week and let you know how I'm going. But if you have any questions on anything, feel free to drop me a line or, just post in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer your questions for you. Thanks for following me.